inspired. I'm inspired.
Hey there guys, how's it going? My name is Sumedh Chatterjee from the Flow Zone Academy, and I'm a flow state coach, which means that I help you feel better and perform better. Today I want to talk about how to deal with the nagging voice in your head, also known as the inner critic. Okay? Now, when you're in the flow state, a lot of people sense that the inner critic shuts down or it goes offline. So when you do enter the zone or you're in the flow state, you want to be able to understand when the inner critic is on and when the inner critic is off. And the way that you do that is, first and foremost, you tune into your body, because a lot of times when we're stressed or we're very frustrated, we disembody ourselves. We disconnect ourselves from our bodies. So for a lot of people, most people, you would say that the inner critic is located in the head. However, it might be different for certain individuals. You might feel it in your heart, you might feel it deep within your belly. And so essentially what you want to do is create space and a connection and a communication with it, because one of my mentors, VK Vince Kelvin, told me that it's not the inner critic, it's your inner caretaker. Okay, so essentially your inner critic is only trying to protect you, and all it's doing is it just has learned responses for different ways that you're showing up in the world. So oftentimes your inner voice, your inner critic, is actually an external voice which you've internalized over time, because for the moments that you felt sad or dejected or rejected, or you felt unmotivated, you went into the inner critic as a way to rescue you, as a way to protect you in that time. And so understanding, like, okay, this is an inner caretaker, it's there to protect me, and then also understanding that this inner critic is not there to harm me in any way. It's being a bully right now to me, but it's not there to be a bully to me. It's there to actually protect me and serve me in some way. So this could be the voice of maybe a parent in the past. For a lot of people, it's a voice of parents, which they internalize. It could be the voice of a teacher. It could be the voice of a bully growing up. It could be the voice of someone that you heard. It could be basically these are all external voices. So your inner critic is actually an outer critic, which you've internalized internally. Okay? So understanding that can give you a lot of power over it, and knowing that, okay, this is the voice of somebody else and I have only internalized. So now what you want to do is take the power back over the inner critic. Okay? Now the way that you do this is you have other external voices that are positive that override the negative voices. So this could be you reading a book, right, with a very positive author, and you let those words take over the words of your negative voice. Or for instance, you listen to the voice of when your parents were loving to you, and you let that voice override the negative voices of maybe a lack of trust and so forth. Or you have the voice of your therapist, or the voice of your coach, or the voice of your friends, or other positive voices and role models, voices of people that you really respect, to take over this negative critic in your mind. Okay? And I want to reference Dr. I believe his name is Dr. David Schwartz, who has a PhD in this area. He has mentioned 8 C's that you can remember when tuning into and dealing with the inner critic. Okay? So the first one is curiosity. You want to be curious with your inner critic, not be judgmental with yourself. When you're curious, you start to look for the changes and the different things that are actually valuable to you. The next one is compassion. Compassion for yourself and your inner voice, and compassion for other people that you can learn and absorb different energy from. Then you have caring for yourself and really being able to have a loving sense of really going internally and understanding that all emotions at the end of the day are because you care about something. right? You're angry because you care about the situation. You're sad because you care about the situation. Otherwise, you wouldn't need to react or show, in a sense, what you're feeling or emoting. A sense of calm and ease. Okay, I believe that's the fourth one. Then you have the fifth one, which is confidence. Very important to really work on your own self-esteem in regards to your own inner critic, and being able to understand that, okay, I'm not going to react to this because I deserve good things in my life. I deserve to be happy. I deserve a good life. And so that confidence really helps you to process. Then you have creativity. I love creativity. I've been hyper creative as a child. This is one of my go-tos because, again, it creates more flow, which creates more creativity. It's a nice loop. And it's basically old ideas with a new insight. So it's perspective. It's a perspective shift, which you want to adopt in this case. Then you have courage, okay? Notice that the word courage has the word rage in it, okay? So you have to be courageous about your anger. You have to be courageous about the rage that is within you. Encourage the rage to transform from out of rage into courage, essentially. Lastly, you want to feel a sense of connectedness, okay? Connectedness with the self, connectedness with this voice. You know, a lot of people say, I want to kill my old identity. I want to be a new person. I want to get rid of my old identity. The thing is, there is no old identity. You see what I'm saying? There is just a younger identity. There is just a version of you in the past that probably needs compassion and love rather than this critical voice. And understanding that that critical voice is actually, in fact, there to help you. So this is my advice to you guys, okay? Really process this and tune in and look for the space within to deal with this inner critic, and you'll slowly notice it turning into an inner coach, an inner savior, an inner child, and an inner caretaker. Thank you for listening. May the flow be with you and stay legendary. See you next time.